gotkushTV. After a stellar 2019, your #1 Black conscious media platform is getting ready to go into overdrive for 2020. As we promised, last year we launched The Inside. We premiered the pilot for the Black Group Economic Show. We dropped 2 new seasons of Wordsmith, the #1 platform for artists with a message in the music. We've seen you out on the road, the Black Carpet Awards, the Reparations March, the Legacy Center of Excellence, and more. We brought you Dr. Mumbi, the legendary Bob Andy, Queen Diambi, Kemi Seba, Esther Stanford Hossein, Leo Mohammed, Brother Leader Badaka, and more. And now, 2020 is set to see gotkushTV taking it to the next level. First up, look out for the official launch of the gotkushTV website, your official portal for all things GKTV, including new shows, news, views, and reviews, soon to be serving you with advertising opportunities and the launch of the GKTV African market. gotkushtv.com will also be a global hub for all things Black, conscious, and empowering from all over the Black world. Black achievers, Black excellence, education, health, positive Black imagery, entrepreneurs, Black brands, and charity work. All this and more can be found here at gotkushtv.com. Then there's the new shows. Decipher, the dynamic discussion and debate show. Health is Wealth, practical tips for living in wellness. Kush Communiversity, home of Black Warrior Scholarship. And UK Fire Entertainment, bringing you a slew of music videos for your listening and viewing pleasure. Look out for more of The Insight, Wordsmith, and the full 3rd season of the Black Group Economic Show, all coming your way soon. As always, the GKTV film team is available for hire to cover your events and all filming needs. Visit us at gotkushtv.com for hire inquiries and more information. Stand by all Black businesses through our website, social media, and show content. We have monumental advertising, sponsorship, and network opportunities catering especially for you. gotkushTV is about to take off. To join us for the ride, there's 4 things you can do. 1, subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell to make sure you don't miss a release. Join us on all social media and hit up gotkushtv.com to subscribe to our mailing list for exclusive opportunities in the near future. 2, like. Let us know you're feeling our content by hitting that ever so important button of approval. 3, comment. We want to hear your feedback on everything we're putting out, so make sure your presence is felt in the comment section. 4, share. Spread the word by hitting that share button and exposing your circle to the magnificence that is gotkushTV. We look forward to building with you throughout 2020 and servicing you with high quality Black media production. gotkushTV. Beyond discussion, beyond debate, we put the power in Black media. gotkushtv.com is now opening for you to advertise, calling all businesses, promoters, event organizers, artists, service providers, content creators, and brands of every kind. If you are looking to share your business or services with a growing and diverse audience, gotkushTV is the space for you. Advertising space is available all over the website. You can advertise here, 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 and you can even advertise here. All spaces are going at very reasonable rates, and we even have a design and production service, especially for those who will need an advert designed or produced for you. For inquiries, don't hesitate to contact us. info@gotkushtv.com. Advertising on gotkushtv.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is Decipher, and these are our lovely panelists. African versus Caribbean versus British.
I'll say from African, is that no, not?
Everyone's Africanness comes innately.
I went to Jamaica earlier this year, and I know I'm not Jamaican. They don't look at me as Jamaican.
Yeah.
I don't like people just wearing a dashiki and wearing stuff and just saying, yeah, I'm African now. That's very fake to me.
You protect people, want to claim Africa, like it's some superior, something. This being a semicircle, and you, the audience, completing the circle.
Greetings, 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 family. Welcome to another edition of Quarantine Convos with myself, Shakara, on gotkushTV, the UK's #1 black conscious platform, kings and queens. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are certainly and most definitely in the building, kings and queens. You done know it's been major. It's been massive over the last week, from, Black Pound Day to how to boost your immune system in the COVID-19 era, and to the launch of Decipher, our new flagship show, family. It's been a lot, I'm saying, Quarantine Convos on Tuesday as well. And we're back here again on Thursday evening to bring you another very, very special edition, kings and queens. We want to send a special shout out to everyone locked on right about now. Shout out to everyone commenting in the chat. And so far, it's Planter, Jason in the chat, kings and queens. You done know. Planter Jason is saying, greetings, Shakara, Minister Abdul, Muhammad, and the Gotkush family. We give thanks. Let us know where you're locked in from, family. Let us know where you're locked in from. It's going to be a very special edition of Quarantine Convos today. Before we get into it, though, let me just give you the housekeeping. First of all, as you come through, please like the video. Please like the video as you come through. If you are not subscribed to gotkushTV, subscribe to gotkushTV, family. Subscribe to gotkushTV, and check out our website, gotkushtv.com. We've got a number of flagship shows that are releasing right about now, so browse through our video selection on this thing with them called YouTube and check out the variety of shows that we have coming for you. There is more, kings and queens, and we'll go into that a little bit later on in the show. But today, family, ahead of a highly anticipated speech coming this Saturday, the 4th of July, where Minister Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam will be speaking for the first time since the recent upheavals of COVID-19 and the continued deaths of our people due to state violence, family. We have his UK representative on our show this evening, ready to speak to you and preview what the speech of Minister Farrakhan coming. We do, however, want to just send a special shout out to the family of Baba Patrice Lumumba. Yes, indeed, kings and queens. Today is the 95th birthday of Baba Patrice Lumumba, now ancestor, who was assassinated in the year 1961 because of his revolutionary drive in terms of the liberation of the nation of Congo in particular, and Africa in general, kings and queens. And so, I want to encourage everybody to just, do a quick Google of the name Patrice Lumumba, YouTube that name, watch whatever you can, and learn about Patrice Lumumba. Today, the 2nd of July, is his 95th birthday, kings and queens. But without further ado, let me introduce to you the Europe representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, Student Minister Abdul-Hakeem Mohammed. Want to send a greetings and welcome, Minister Abdul-Hakeem.
Greetings to you and your listening audience also, brother, and thank you for having me on your station.
Yes, sir, no problems. It's not the first time, and we guarantee that it will not be the last. We're sure about that, my brother. Thank you for taking your time to join us. I know that you are very, very busy at the moment, as you would be. And so, yeah, we just want to, first of all, my brother, we're going to be previewing Minister Farrakhan's speech coming up on this Saturday. But we have to ask you a few questions that we've been asking all of our guests, in relation to, obviously, there's been a lockdown in London, the upheaval, of our lives, so to speak. And so what is the nation of Minister Abdul-Hakeem's, perspective, on lockdown in London as it stands at the moment?
Well, as we know, dear brother, there's nothing that happens without the sanctioning of the divine supreme being, the all-wise, true, and the living God. Whatsoever man plans, we believe that Allah's hand overarches any plan of the wicked or anything that may appear to be devastating to us as human beings on Allah God's planet. So we see this from a divine perspective. We have been teaching, our people since 1930 when the Nation of Islam declared, or the founder of the Nation of Islam, Master Farad Muhammad, declared us as a people independent from our former slave masters and their children. And Saturday, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is indeed the promised Messiah, he will speak on Saturday on the 90th anniversary of the independence of us as a people. Now, when we were made independent in 1930 as a people, as a people, we were dead as a doornail. So the teaching and the preaching of divine guidance was given to us, and the level of consciousness that has permeated through not just the US or not just parts of the Caribbean, but throughout the world, you know, the real amplifier of truth around this planet has been based upon the heavy lifting, the tremendous traveling that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been doing in the last 42 years in spreading truth worldwide and awakening our people in every corner of the earth. So in the United Kingdom, you know, we've been following the guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, where he instructed us, you know, to observe the policies that are coming out of government in regards to, you know, social distancing and being on lockdown in your home. Because as a people, sometimes we're running up and down so much and achieving very little. So in just being quiet for a moment, it served us tremendously in coming into our homes and, you know, getting a chance to spend more time with family and really connecting with the world from the comfort of our homes. All of our meetings that we would normally do in a public places have been growing exponentially. So as a result of exponential growth and development, just yesterday we had a meeting on male and female, the science of male and female relationships. And we had people online in the hundreds, over, you know, 300 persons chiming in on a Wednesday evening between 7 and 9 from all over the world. And so all of our programs have taken a much greater boost as a result of us just focusing and being in one place and sending out signals throughout the world, where I'm responsible for the growth and the development of our people in Europe. That work has been expanded. I was blessed, let me just put a pin in it. I was blessed yesterday, Brother Shakaran, to your listening audience, to receive a phone call from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I was blessed to speak to him personally for 30 minutes, and he asked me to extend to all in Europe and all in the United Kingdom his greetings of peace, of Assalamu alaikum, and he's praying for our deliverance through this difficult time in which we are going, or which we have entered into. So all of that to say that we have been doing exponential work and enjoying the levels of technology that are available for us to spread truth far and wide.
All right, sir. And so on a personal note, my brother, because a lot of our listeners would love, like, you know, advice and tips onto how to make the most of a situation of lockdown. So what can you teach in terms of what has Minister Abdul-Hakeem been doing to be most productive and to be, you know, make life fulfilling whilst being locked up in the house, so to speak?
Well, I've been able to complete all of my unfulfilled tasks around the house. I've been able, and there was a lot of them, you know. I was able to finish my garden. I've been able to read every day and put a pull-up bar in my garden so I can work out every day, you know. All of these things, and as we've been advised by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to rearrange our homes, because what we have seen take place in regards to COVID-19 in the first wave, he told me yesterday that it's going to get worse, brother. It's going to get worse. So we should prepare, as we're seeing some of these cities and towns in the UK going through a second wave and a second lockdown. It's important, you know, that we don't go to sleep and think that, you know, business is going to be as normal. There is no, the normal of this world was not good for us in the first instance. So we shouldn't aspire for, you know, things to get back to normal, because then things get back to, you know, the same types of various oppressions that we suffered from. So we should utilize this period, and I've been utilizing it to plan and to strategize with my team here in the UK and throughout Europe, and how to be more productive. We're still going through the process of purchasing 1 to 5 Hinton Road, that the refurbishment of the ground floor now is almost complete. The only thing left to do is to lay the flooring. And if I could share some images with you, you'd be very impressed. So God willing, in the next 6 months, we will have a facility with the support of the community that offers the science of relationships, the science of business finance, the science of warfare as a people, and the science of spirituality. All of these things that we've been renowned for teaching will be taught now in a building that we own.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for that. And I may come back to that question of the building, because I'm sure people are going to want, you know, to know some more updates with regards to that.
Absolutely.
So if there are any more updates, we'll get back to that, brother minister. Kings and queens, do remember we will be opening up the line at some point so that you can interact with Minister Abdul-Hakeem Mohammed ahead of the speech that will be delivered by Minister Farrakhan this coming Saturday, the 4th of July. Now, brother minister, I'm very aware that many people will be asking, well, how come Farrakhan take so long for talk? You know what I mean? Where's he been? You know what I mean? And all these things.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you have to appreciate, is not a regular just black leader who just runs his mouth. He is a divinely guided man. And whenever you have a divinely guided man, that man doesn't speak out of desire. He speaks the will of God. And a man who speaks the will of God's words are very weighty and they're very decisive. And this is why the last time the Honorable Louis Farrakhan spoke at our Savior's Day convention in February, late February, ever since his voice was stilled, that's as a result of that, we're experiencing all of this upheaval. And when he speaks on Saturday, his words are not based upon warning us more, because most of us know right. Most of us know what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing. But we just seem to have a problem in doing what we know we should be doing, and supporting who we know we should support it, and building how we know we should be building. So we're in a time now of the divine chastisement of God. And after the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speaks on Saturday, dear brother, you will see the tectonic plates of this world shift. You know, everybody watching that, watching what he says and listening to what he says, if they were skeptical before, they will know when he finished speaking that they're listening to a divine servant of the all-wise, true, and living and most powerful being there is in the universe. It's our time to rise now, and God Almighty will reduce the power of our open enemy and sentence them to that which they have sentenced us to. So I would ask everybody to just prepare, not for, as you mentioned, a speech, but for the deliverance of the word of God, the will of God coming through his servant from among us.
Thank you very much, Minister Abdul-Hakeem. Now, it's a difficult one, yeah, because, you know what I'm saying? I know we're previewing the thing, but I know you're not going to preempt anything that Brother Minister's going to say on Saturday. So we're not going to ask you what we're going to expect to hear. You know what I'm saying? But I will ask you, just in some general questions in relation to, obviously, you know, we've been doing this work in this country for quite some time. And the issue of police violence against our community in this country, you know, has been a long-standing issue, yeah. And so it seems as though I don't know what sense you get, because obviously we've been galvanizing in solidarity of our brothers and sisters in the United States in relation to George Floyd, in relation to Breonna Taylor, in relation to Ahmaud Arbery and others since that time. What sense do you get, Minister Abdul-Hakeem, in terms of the extent to which our community in this country is in tune with how that same issue is affecting us on these shores?
I think we're very in tune, and what we have lacked is the real common, constructive, programmatic effort through the various leadership. And I say that to say, recent events have shown us how ready the people are for something different, ready for change, ready to take responsibility. And as a result of the people being ready, then the problem then has to be in the leadership, because I listen to various programs, dear brother, and, I hear a lot of criticism for different organizations, different schools of thought, coming from people who really should know better than to use the airways to pollute our community with more division, more division. Sometimes I would go on a radio station, everybody knows that the Nation of Islam are Muslims, and then somebody else will come with an ignorant view about Malcolm X, an ignorant view about Muslims being involved in the slave trade in Africa, and this, that, and the other, and really pollute the airways and pollute the atmosphere with information that cannot do or bring forth anything that is productive. So I would say, dear brother, the desire and the will of the people to engage and support an initiative or initiatives that are in their best interest has always been there. But we've got too many people who call themselves leaders whose words are counterproductive to the movement. And as a result of that, God is maneuvering them out the way now because their efforts and their work is so counterproductive. In the Nation of Islam, we have been blessed to support all schools of thought in our community. And our history in this country. We have dedicated our facilities to the upward rise of every school of thought in this country, because we don't fear truth. We embrace it and we support it and we amplify it and we give it a platform, because we don't see ourselves as those who are desirous of building some new world order by ourselves. We want every school of thought of our people to be involved in our liberation. So I believe, as I said, just to reiterate, the people have always been ready, but leadership sometimes is just too immature that they want to push just their agenda. And if it's not their agenda, then they're going to spend the rest of their time fighting the good that other people are also doing to lead to the same objective.
No, I must admit, there is some of that going on. It appears to be, the context in which we're operating at the minute, and sometimes it will appear that it would diminish the effectiveness of a lot of our actions because there is strength in unity. And so all we can do is keep doing the work and hope that those of our people will be guided by right examples. You know what I'm saying?
But I'll just insert this, dear brother. It's really for us to just understand that our 465-year enemy has always sought to lead us in our liberation struggles.
Yes, sir.
So when we hear this kind of divisive talk coming out of people's mouths who are intelligent people and who's claim to love us as a people, we've also got to look to see, how many of these rotten characters that MI5 and MI6 and the Secret Service has planted amongst our community who are portraying themselves as leaders of our community. Because many put themselves forward and they don't have no real connection or no official standing anywhere, but they just have a viewpoint. And we have to, if we're going to be serious and we're going to move the dial forward and minimize the work of our children, we've got to come forward and build a coalition amongst people who have integrity and who really have authority to say what they're saying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, kings and queens. We're speaking to Minister Abdul-Hakeem Mohammed, the European representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, based over here in London, UK, kings and queens, Brixton, to be specific. And if you know anything about Brixton, then you know that it's a central point, a focal point of black resistance in the UK, brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know about Brixton. Minister, give our viewers any further information that you may want to share about the development of 1 to 4 Hinton Road and when it might be reopening.
It's 1 to 5.
1 to 5, sorry, excuse me.
1 to 5. We intend to open probably in the next 4 weeks, but we will keep you plugged because we want to have a very beautiful opening ceremony, because one of the dedications, or one of the areas that we will dedicate the building to is a television studio. We do intend to broadcast the work that we do from that building all over the world, and we will certainly, be interested in ensuring that the great work that you're doing with gotkushTV, if ever you need a home, some of the members of our community who are engaged in conscious artistic expression, the building could be used to make videos and different things, because as I said, we have 5,000 square foot in one area that's open space, and another 6,000 square foot in another area. So we plan to make this really the Mecca, or the central point, as it was when we were upstairs, for the teaching, if you will, and the amplification of what we represent, where our young people can actually come and see, and our elders can see that the work that we have done over the years, there's a place that we can go, that, our events will not be cancelled at the last moment. And a place where we can, organize and structure ourselves and project ourselves into the future, dear brother. But yes, brother. As I said, the refurbishment work is pretty much complete. All we need to do now, literally, is just put the flooring down. And so in the next 4 weeks, we will organize a grand opening, and we look forward to seeing you down there.
Yes, brother. Yes, brother. And I certainly will be. Yeah. So
yes,
we'll be in the house to celebrate the opening of that building. Brother Minister, I want to ask you generally now, because a hot topic on the lips of our community, and I know that you may want to limit yourself in terms of how much you say, but it is necessary to ask on the issue of self-defense. The community appears to be under attack, and as activists, we have often promoted the need, of our community to organize to defend itself against attack. And it appears, however, that much of our activity is geared towards like reforming the institutions of society, for example, the police, and asking them to, behave like human beings towards human beings, if that makes sense. And so it would seem that we need to have more conversation about self-defense and how we operationalize self-defense in our community. What would be the perspective of the nation on that issue?
Well, you know that we have, we police our own meetings, and we have the FOI and the MGT. So we have always believed in self-defense and building your own army, if you will. But you want to make sure that the members of your community who are involved in self-defense are actually spiritual beings, and they're not involved in self-harming themselves. Because you can't have a man who's smoking weed all day and then going to be on duty to defend his community, and he's not defending himself because he's poisoning himself. He's drinking a lot of alcohol, and is intoxicated by day. And then by night, I love my people, I'm going to be on post, I'm going to protect my community. Well, if we're not responsible enough to protect ourselves and defend ourselves from the vices of this world. And I can't see how we can, in a sustained way, protect our community as individuals. So the first protection starts with the cleaning up of ourselves, cleaning up of our ways, cleaning up of our morals, being upright men and upright women. Because if you're going to enforce law, then you have to be an exemplar, a representative, an upstanding person in order for you to enforce, law. You can't enforce what you don't uphold, because we can't replace what Caucasian people are doing just with black faces. So to police the communities to do a better job than those who are currently, doing a pathetic job. Yes. And if we're going to be serious about doing such, then we would need to bring economists to the table to budget. If we had 500 men, 100 men, working in a particular community, in a particular area, or spread out around the areas in which we live, what would be the budget? Because men of integrity have families, they have responsibilities, and we can't expect them to be on duty for 8 to 10 hours. And, we just give them a thank you. We've got to be able to pay them. We've got to be able to secure them. So a conversation would have to be had with the mayor's office and the government generally, for the taxes that our people pay to a police force that brutalizes and kills us, in custody. Then those funds should be redirected to a fund that will pay for us to be able to defend our own community. Or we should have a sizable group of people who can be trained by, the system that is already in existence, but their job will be to be posted in our community. Just like if you go to South Fork, you see Indian and Bangladeshi, Pakistani police in their community. You go to Stamford Hill, if you put in a 999 call in Stamford Hill, Jewish police will come around, with the backing of the Metropolitan Police, but those who are called to resolve disputes amongst the Jews are Jews, are Indian. So we just need to have the same respect for ourselves and have intelligent voices representing us to the powers that be. And I believe we can achieve it, brother, whether we do it ourselves or we go through the same system or the process that others have gone through and achieved the objective that works for their community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another issue, Brother Minister, that's been on the table is a comparison, between the devil in this country and the devil in the United States of America. Apparently, Brother Minister, some people are positing the idea that there's a difference between the devil. that somehow, one devil is worse than the other devil. The devil apparently across the Atlantic is worse than the devil in the UK. What's your position on the disparity between devilishment in Britain and America?
Well, I will first just say, those in high office, they're beyond devil. Devil is just a devaluer, but these people are satanic. They're the makers of devil. Mm-hmm. So they're the mothers and the fathers of devils. Yes, sir. So I wouldn't want to compare them like that, but I would say this from a historical perspective. America was created by the British, okay? And the British are far more, as the Honorable Louis Farrakhan has taught me, and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught him, that the American devil, satanic forces, would deceive you 95% as a black man or woman. But he said the British will deceive you 100%. So this man will have you spinning on your head and you think you're walking on your feet. Mm-hmm. So he's not a fool. He doesn't have to be as brutal in his killing as they do in America. In America, they're very overt. In the United Kingdom, dear brother, they're very covert. They get the same job done, but they're much more sophisticated in the way how they exercise their desires. So that is the difference. One is a lot more overtly brutal and wicked, and the other one is much more covert and cleans his hands almost thoroughly, that you don't know where the attack is coming from. We have to remember this is a man who literally conquered, the vast majority of the earth from an island, and today he still enjoys in Africa and in the Caribbean, even though his power is waning, and in parts of Asia, the influence over large swathes of people, even just to this morning, with China trying to structure Hong Kong, a country that is a part of China. You have the British saying, that the way how they're prosecuting their policies is against, the standards of human rights, and they're offering Hong Kong citizenship in the United Kingdom to the tune of 3 million citizenships that they're willing to offer if they want to repatriate back or repatriate to the United Kingdom. So much so that China had to make it very clear this morning that if you offer these citizenships to their citizens living in Hong Kong, then England will have a heavy price to pay. So we're dealing with a man, brother, whose influence and whose snakish behavior is still being felt throughout the planet. So I would say this one's more wise, more wickedly wise, and the one in America is more overtly brutal.
Right. Interesting, my brother.
But,
go ahead.
I was going to say there's no Caucasian people smarter than the British. They're the wisest, wickedly wisest Caucasians on the planet. So if you're looking for the head, of satanic behavior, you got to come here. America is baby London.
Certainly. Well, my brother, in that respect, then, because since the upheavals and the protests and other things around this country, we've seen an unprecedented embrace from the mass media in terms of all things racial, in terms of all complaints, every complaint from anybody black. Especially those who are of the celebrity class, who experience microaggressions and discrimination within the entertainment industry in particular. Any one of them that opens their mouth is given a platform on Good Morning Britain or Newsnight, or there's unprecedented profile on the stories of black men and women in terms of the experience of racism. Should we, as a community in this country, feel the warm embrace of British society as a result of this media, media, what's the word, enlightenment on our condition?
Well, it's a sign to us, bro. We can't go to sleep on it. We have to know that they know that their time to rule us is over. And because they know, they're not ignorant of it. They're very aware that their time is over. And the divine supreme being, brother, is dealing them with heavy blows, very heavy blows. And the heaviness of his blows are going to become much more apparent in very succinct periods of time going forward. After, as I said again, I can't keep emphasizing it enough. After the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan delivers the will of God on Saturday, you will see major changes take place in regards to our relationships with governments that have oppressed us over the last 465 years. Because remember, they have been given warning to do right by us. They haven't heeded the warning. And as a result of not heeding the warning, then their time for heeding it has passed. So it doesn't matter what they want to do now. It's too late. The window is closed, for them to do justice by us. So all what you see taking place is a smoke shield, if you will, or a smoke screen that's designed to cause the hungry belly ones among us to go with our long hands, seeking to just take whatever we can in compensation and in reparation for the wickedness that they have done.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, where if they really are serious about repairing the damage, then they have to be willing to dismantle all of their institutions and offer us parts of England wherein we can move straight into, my brother, and have communities and towns of our own.
Yes,
That's
sir.
the way how you show you're really sorry and you really want to bring about a change. Give us Knightsbridge, give us Hampstead, you know, give us some of your top cities, give us Manchester. Just have all of the Europeans move out and then say to us, you can have Manchester, you can have, I won't say Brighton, but you can have, you know, a
Yes, sir. Yes,
city
sir.
or a town. And
Yes,
this
sir.
will show a willingness to really be forgiven for the atrocities that has been done. It would be a step.
Yes.
But what they're offering, just the taking down of a picture and the removing of a statue, let's not get fooled by this, because it may satisfy some of us, but it doesn't satisfy the God who is on scene today, who desires for his people to rise exponentially.
Yes, sir. You preempted my next question, which was going to be on the issue of reparations. Yeah, it's another one of the topical issues on the scene at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Reparatory justice, repairing the damage. Yeah. I want to know from you just a general thought on how you see the development of the reparations movement in this country, and where you would suggest that things need to go or develop next.
Well, it was interesting because I was looking at Brother Christopher Aisha. He sent me a brochure of our work in Hinton Road, and he done an overview of some of the work that we did there, and he highlighted the beginning of the reparations march. And I don't know if you can remember, but you and your father was very much involved in the organizing of the first march, where one of the brothers from RM UK came to my office and said that he was desirous of putting on the march in August 2014. And he didn't have the resources at the time to so do. And I said to him, I will help you and we will back you in the nation. So we put on, and I don't know if you can see this, but we put on a question time down at Muhammad Mosque, and you can see your father's there at the end. You can see your father, Dr. Beckford, and Mark Simpson, and I think his wife Charmaine is beside him. And at that meeting, we all declared that we will support RM UK, and we will have a broad base coalition who would go forward and make that event a success. And we all put money in the pot, and we paid for Brixton Town Hall to be hired, and we walked to Downing Street with the view of delivering the petition. But at that time, it was a one-off event. We would do this and see what their response was and hold them accountable to the efforts that was made. Fast forwarding to 2020, I think the government and others, and there's been a lot in between 2014 and now 2020. We were blessed, I believe it was in 2017, to secure a message from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that he wanted to deliver on reparations to our community. And as you remember, Lambeth Town Hall, they banned the message and banned me from speaking. Your father spoke very eloquently on my behalf on that day. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan said, don't speak, let others speak for you. And your father done a great job. And as you know the history, the police came with the intention of arresting me. you know, and causing some kind of a fray or riot, because they knew that if they put their hands on me, that the brothers would not allow that to happen, and things would escalate into a riot, and then they'd be able to besmirch the name of the Nation of Islam. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan saw it all, and he said, stand down, brother. What we would do, we will sue them after the day. So what we did is engage in a lawsuit against Lambeth Council and the Metropolitan Police. And as we speak now, that lawsuit is still taking place, and we intend to be in court in the next month to settle that issue. But they will not get away with what they've done. But by way of reparatory justice and how it has evolved, I thank everybody who has engaged in keeping reparations on the front burner and reminding the British government of the atrocities that they have engaged in where we are concerned as Black people. We're very thankful and appreciative, but we want to just caution everybody who's in a leadership position to be very mindful that the price that needs to be paid is not in monetary terms. As you open the final call to the back page, you know, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I believe it was in 1962, published the Muslim program on the back page, and he made it very clear that reparations to us is to give us a separate states and territories of our own, and then to support us with everything that we need for 20 to 25 years. But if we're not being given land, brother, just like the British government and the American government carved out a major part of Israel for the Jewish people and have been backing them with hundreds of billions of taxpayers' money in grants, not in loans, in grants, to ensure that they have a separate state and territory of their own, under the guise of them being the children of Israel, which is a lie, which is a fabrication. You know, we are the real children of Israel, and what we have suffered at the hands of Europeans, it qualifies us more so than any other people to be given a separate state and territory and to be supported for 20 to 25 years. So I thank everybody for what they have done, but I would ask everybody to be very mindful and to be very cautious as to what they are willing to negotiate, to accept as reparations for what we have suffered.
Yes, brother. You know, we're going to open up for people to come and interact with you shortly. I just want to say before we do that, you've just brought something to my mind when you speak about the fact that the state of Israel has been funded to the tune of hundreds of billions over many, many years, for its sustenance and its development and its protection. What meanwhile, Black people in this country have been contributing to paying back the debt that the British government gave to its slave owners after the abolition of the so-called slave trade in this country, and we only stopped paying that in 2015. So for as long as we've been in this country paying taxes, we've been actually paying back the government who gave compensation to the enslavers of our ancestors. We've been paying their debt, contributing to the paying of their debt up until 2015 in this country. And so that's a point for our viewers to just know.
If I could just chime in on that. And this is why when you really quantify the hatred of these people for us, you know, could we even trust them to even sit at the table and negotiate reparations for us? You know, the real reparations, brother, is that you've got to let God do his work, because he has no intention now of forgiving these people for what they have done to us. And our job very soon is going to be just to get out of the way, dear brother, because they've been given time that they did not use wisely to repair the damage that was done, and they have not heeded the call to repent for their evil. In fact, they've become more bold in their evil and are using the ignorance of many of our people to compound the wickedness that they have done.
Yes.
So I think it's just important for us to really quantify what these people have done. And going back to what you mentioned in regards to, I think it was in 1834 that this act was passed in Parliament. You know, the act was passed under the prime ministership of William Gladstone, who owned more than 2,000 slaves in the Caribbean at that time. And he's the longest serving prime minister of this country, I believe, ever. He served for over 20 years. Now, if the prime minister was a major slave owner and the family today still benefit, and that house was built on slave money, then can they really, in truth, brother, pay us for what we have suffered? What is the value of one black life to a Caucasian life? If it was just an eye for an eye, what is the value of the life of the progenitor of life? From us have come the brown, the red, the yellow, the white. And for those who came last on the planet to destroy the lives of the progenitor, should we really be looking to them to repair the damage that was done? Are they capable of repairing the damage? I think not. How can a Johnny come lately repair a God like you and I? No, brother. The only one who can repair us is the one who created us, the best knower, but not them. We can use resources to further the process, but we would need to be in a separate land and territory of our own. That's the starting place. When you're living with someone and it's mayhem in that house, brother, and you just have a room in somebody's house, the starting point is, if we don't get on, I need to move out of this house. And you have to compensate me because you didn't tell me you were going to be playing music all day and all night, and my room was going to be burgled when I'm out. You offered me assurance, and now I'm here. I need compensation.
Yes, sir. And
compensation is your own home, brother. You know, so that you can rebuild your peace. You know. So. Yeah, I just wanted to share a few things.
No problems, Brother Minister, no problems. We give thanks for your presence. Right, kings and queens, we're going to be opening up the lines for you to come and interact with Minister Abdul-Hakeem, ask a question, show your love. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to do so. The link is now in the chat. And while you're coming through, we're going to take some time to just, you know, broadcast a few messages on behalf of gotkushTV and the work that we're doing here. Don't go anywhere, Brother Minister. We'll be back with you shortly. Blessings.
Yes, sir.
All right. gotkushTV.com. gotkushTV.com is now opening for you to advertise, calling all businesses, promoters, event organizers, artists, service providers, content creators, and brands of every kind. If you are looking to share your business or services with a growing and diverse audience, gotkushTV is the space for you. Advertising space is available all over the website. You can advertise here. 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 And you can even advertise here. All spaces are going at very reasonable rates. And we even have a design and production service, especially for those who will need an advert designed or produced for you. For inquiries, don't hesitate to contact us. info@gotkushtv.com. Advertising on gotkushtv.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is the cipher, and these are lovely panelists. African versus Caribbean versus British.
I'll say from African, but no, you're not.
Everyone's Africanness comes innately.
I went to Jamaica earlier this year, and I know I'm not Jamaican. They don't look at me as Jamaican.
Yeah.
I don't like people just wearing a dashiki and wearing stuff and just saying, yeah, I'm African now. That's very fake to me.
you protect people, want to claim Africa, like it's some superior, something. This being a semicircle, and you, the audience, complete the circle.
Wordsmith, the #1 platform in the UK where black music meets bars, meets message. Don't watch the industry, we are the mainstream. Wordsmith, exclusively on gotkushTV.
Yes, indeed, kings and queens, you're tuned into gotkushTV Quarantine Convos on this Thursday, the 2nd of July, 2020. We are speaking to Minister Abdul-Hakeem Mohammed, the UK representative of the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, based in the UK, kings and queens. And as I say the date, the 2nd of July, 2020, I'm reminded once again that this is the birthday, the 95th birthday of the great Baba Patrice Lumumba. And you know what? I'm moved here to just read a couple excerpts, if I may, Brother Minister. What's it called? From his independence speech, because it was a monumental speech delivered in 1960, the 30th of June, 1960, on the independence of Congo. This was a few days before what would have been his 35th birthday, if my maths are guiding me correctly. And he was not scheduled to speak. This is the Prime Minister of an independent African nation who is at the inauguration of the independence and is not scheduled to speak. And you have the prince that comes over from Belgium and declares that the independence of Congo is but the fulfillment of the Belgian project in the Congo, after the African people of the Congo had suffered for nearly 100 years and experienced a devil like King Leopold, who basically halved the population of the nation. And so Patrice Lumumba, who was not scheduled to speak, took the mic and basically put himself on the program. And he said the following, kings and queens: we are going to show the world what the black man can do when he works in freedom. And we are going to make the Congo the center of the sun's radius for all of Africa. We are going to keep watch over the lands of our country so that they truly profit her children. We are going to restore ancient laws and make new ones which will be just and noble. He says, I ask you all to forget your tribal squirrels. They exhaust us. They risk making us despised abroad. I ask the parliamentary minority to help my government through a constructive opposition and to limit themselves strictly to legal and democratic channels. He says the Congo's independence marks a decisive step towards the liberation of the entire African continent. Our government, strong, national, popular, will be the health of our country. I call on all Congolese citizens, men, women, and children, to set themselves resolutely to the task of creating a prosperous national economy which will assure our economic independence. Glory to the fighters for national liberation. Long live the independence. Long live independence and African unity. Long live the independent and sovereign Congo. Yes, indeed, kings and queens. You have to know about Patrice Lumumba. 6 months later, the forces of European imperialism moved and sponsored stool pigeon puppets and agents and sellouts in the nation of Congo. And Patrice Lumumba was assassinated in the month of January 1961. It's very important that we keep in tune with that history. Now, I know you want to say something, Brother Minister. I'll give you 2 sentences. We had the opportunity to speak to his grandson some years ago as the Al-Qaeda revivalist movement, and were informed that Patrice Lumumba's father was actually a Garveyite, adherent to the life and legacy of the most eminent prophet Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And this red, black, and green flag that is on the wall behind me this year celebrates 100 years of its existence as the flag of African liberation. And so our movements are connected, kings and queens. I just wanted to throw that in there as well. Go ahead, Brother Minister. And then we've got.
I just wanted to bear you witness. I didn't want to say anything.
Right.
I just wanted to bear you witness and
yes,
to
sir,
say,
yes, sir.
you know, do not in any way, shape, or form, you know, minimize by way of cutting short, you know, giving tremendous recognition to the great Patrice Lumumba. So I just wanted to bear you witness, brother, because he was indeed a giant amongst men.
Yes,
and
sir.
I just hope and pray, and I actually know for a fact that those who have his spirit are already in Africa, brother.
Yes,
and
sir.
in a
Yes,
few
sir.
days, they will be, you know, put in their proper places, you know. So long live Patrice, long live his spirit.
Yes,
and
sir.
we look forward to seeing his spirit in a 2020 mold.
Yes,
because it's gone nowhere.
I'm moved to say, brother Minister, you don't look too dissimilar from Patrice Lumumba yourself.
I'm honored. I'm in very good company.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a compliment, bro. It means you're very handsome. It means you're very handsome, you know. All right. Brother Witness, you're live on gotkushTV. Kings and Queens, the link is in the chat. If you want to come through and ask Minister Abdul-Hakeem a question, feel free to do so. Come through. The link is in the chat. Go ahead, Witness.
Thank you. Greetings, Shakara. Greetings, Minister Abdul-Hakeem Mohammed. I will not take up too much of your time. I just needed to ask you a couple of questions on what you discussed earlier. You provided examples of how the Jewish community in Stamford Hill and the Asians police their community. You also suggested that the British government should give Black people or members of the Nation of Islam land like Hampstead, Knightsbridge, and Manchester for us to live on. I was curious, are you advocating that we as Black people could use the British political system to achieve this, or would we not use the political system to achieve this? Would we use MPs, Black MPs, to lobby and push for what you're talking about? Or that's why I was a bit confused when I heard that. I wasn't sure. I just needed clarification.
When I mentioned those areas, Manchester, Knightsbridge, you know, Hampstead, whatever the case may be, these were just examples, dear brother, of, you know, us being more than worthy of not just a community center, but what an act of genuine expression from the government would be to carve out a whole town, a whole city, and say to Black people, this is for you, not members of the Nation of Islam, Black community, this is for you. Not that we're going to give you some barren land and you've got to build something for yourself. No, we're already responsible for building the Western Hemisphere. We don't need to be building anything else. We just need people to move out so that we can move in and take over. Now, we can't use MPs who are not ours. So we would need to elect people who are accountable to us, because most of those who look like us or who are in government, they look like us, but they're not accountable to us because they don't believe that we can hold them to account. So if we're serious, all of those in leadership would have to sit down, and we would need to elect from among us those who we want to put forward to negotiate or to represent us, not even to negotiate, but to represent us in those arenas, to put forth our position. And this is what it would take to really justify what you say you are in regards to being sorry and you want to do something to repair the damage of your fathers. Then these are practical steps. And the Jewish community and the Asian community, they have representatives that represent them. So they can use the system to eke out some benefit for them and their people. We don't enjoy having anybody in Parliament who represent us truly and are accountable to us. So with those concerned, we can't use the system. We would have to use, or we'd have to, as I just said, you know, find those who we can send forth and who would be accountable to us.
I see. So we would find those who would be accountable to us and use them through the system to achieve what we would like.
If that is a collective decision, that is not what we're planning on doing. But if, you know, that is something I believe, if we had the will, we could pursue and see where it takes us. Because we haven't tried these things in an organized and constructive way. Most of those who represent us in Parliament are those whom the enemy gave us and the political parties gave us. And they're not people who are revolutionaries amongst our people whom we actively have selected and sent forth, and comes back and gives us reports on how they're getting on with the agenda that we set for them. We don't set agendas for our leadership in Parliament. They follow the will of the party that they represent.
I see. I understand it entirely what you mean. It's just that most of the time when I speak to a lot of Black people, the last thing they want is for Black people to get involved in the system. They're consistently criticizing, denigrating the system. That's why I just wanted. It was refreshing hearing what you said, because it's different from the rhetoric that I usually hear from a lot of people. It's a case of burn down the system or destroy the system. The idea of using the system is seen as somehow selling out or regressing.
No, not at all. I think we have to be over and covert. And sometimes as a people, we're too overt and don't understand covert operations, that are used on us on a daily basis. There's power in unity. And once we're unified, brother, we can, if we're the majority in Hackney, the majority in parts of Brixton, why is not the councillor there, our representative, who we have cherry-picked, who can be over a budget that can change the reality of some of our people on a daily basis? Why not? There's some brothers who are working and have formed an independent party called the Unite Party. And their work is to push forward candidates who will represent the community. And I'm a great supporter of the Unite Party. And when they unveil themselves soon, they will put themselves forward, brother, and use the system as it is, and organize accordingly and show forth that we can, in unity, change the system from within. But you got to get in the game in order to change it. You really do.
Thank you very much, Brother Minister. Thank you, Shakara. I just needed just to get some clarity on that. You've been very helpful. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
No problems, brother witness. No problems. Kings and queens, feel free to click the link in the chat if you want to come through and speak to Minister Abdul-Hakeem Mohammed. He is here to answer all of your hard probing and questions, kings and queens. So feel free to come through. I saw a Sandra in the backstage, but I couldn't connect you, my sister, because your device wasn't connected to the stream. So I don't know if you seem to have disappeared. So I don't know if you're trying to work that out at the moment, but feel free to return if you want to come through live and interact with us. Now, Kings and Queens, the link is in the chat once again. Whilst you're here, though, I've just checked the stream, and there's like 100 and something people watching, but there's 40 something likes on the video. So we want to get the likes up, yeah. We want to get them likes at least 100, yeah. Keep it 100, fam. Keep it 100. So if you are here watching right now and you have not liked the video, then like the video. What I'm talking about, yeah. I know that recently, yeah, we've been getting a lot of visits from our friends in the white right wing. So you know what I'm saying? So shout out to our friends in the white right wing. You know, when you get agents of the devil, you know what I'm saying, trying to infiltrate your thing, you're doing the right thing. So you also want to big you up if you're watching. You know what I'm saying, and say blessings. You know what I'm saying. Let's let everybody know when you go back to your meeting that we're good and we're doing the work. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Let's let everybody know that, kings and queens. All right. So yes, get them laps up, kings and queens, because you're there and you're receiving the good information through gotkushTV from the Minister Abdul-Hakeem Mohammed And we want to basically, we're here anticipating the speech from Minister Farrakhan, the message from Minister Farrakhan, which will be delivered this coming Saturday, the 4th of July. Brother Minister, just give our viewers the details. Yeah, car. I know it's what, 11 a.m. ESTs. What's that in GMT?
It's 4 p.m. GMT, and our listening audience can go to noi.org. And just click straight on, and they should go straight into the video. But I'm hearing now that it's difficult to get into noi.org from on the free network. So I'm hoping that everybody has proper Wi-Fi and are in a place where you can enjoy proper Wi-Fi and not try to just access it from the data on your phone, because these people are working morning, evening, noon, and night to stop that message from permeating the world. Right. We have been blessed here, just in the European region, to secure the broadcast and the distribution of the message in over 50 countries, you know, much less what our machine in Chicago and in the US is responsible for doing. So there's a massive uptake at the moment and massive desire for the message to be, or to receive the message on Saturday. You know, we've got Damian Marley, we've got Jay-Z, we've got, you know, Stephanie Mills and all of these major celebrities who are making everybody know and sending memes up. Chuck B, you know, that they will be listening to the minister's message on Saturday, and they're anticipating what Allah God will put on his heart for us as a people. You know, because one thing we do know, dear brother, for the 60, I believe it is 2 years, that the Honorable Louis Farrakhan has been in the ministry teaching, we know there's no compromise in his work. None. No compromise in his work. So when we want to look to leadership that is trustworthy, that's never compromised with the wicked, or ever taken a pound note from the wicked, never taken $1 from the wicked, then the track record of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, it makes us to know that there's a divine man of God among us. So 4 p.m. GMT, try and find some Wi-Fi, go to noi.org.
Well, you know, I don't know if you're saying this, Brother Minister, but it sounds like we might have to invest in the 5G. To hear the minister on that.
Definitely not going to sign off on that one at this moment.
You know what I'm saying, Kings and Queens? But yeah, we're working it out as well. So there may be some other options as well, Kings and Queens. So stay tuned. I'm not gonna announce anything right now because we're still working at the technicals, but we may provide an alternative just in case, you know.
And I do believe Galaxy Radio will be broadcasting it live. Yes.
You know, so stay tuned, family. You may be able to get to watch it right here on gotkushTV.
Anything I and we can do to support you to make that a reality, Shakara, then don't hesitate. Because if you know, just let us know what we can do to support that, to make it a reality and consider it done.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah, I'm speaking to Brother Adate, so you know he's on the job. He's on the
Excellent
job. We give facts. Bigging up Brother Hakeem in the chat, Brother Hakeem, the film doctor. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. We stay tuned because we're gonna get Brother Hakeem on the Kushkim University soon. You know, like the film doctor is one of the baddest guys. You know, when it comes to this film thing, like, and if this film breakdown situation, yeah, my man's levels. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. Right, Kings and Queens, we're inside the last 15 minutes. You know, so if you want to come through and speak to Mr. Abdul-Hakeem, you better move fast or forever hold your peace, Kings and Queens. Move quickly or forever hold your peace. Brother Minister, you mentioned Chuck D, and I'm moved to say, you know, that coming up this 1st of August is going to be Chuck D's 60th birthday. Imagine that. We've got rappers that are 60, and touring the world, you know what I'm saying, and still performing, still making music. So yeah, just want to big up Chuck D for the example that he set for staying black conscious, you know what I'm saying, and powerful for the entirety of his career. You know what I mean? Them man, they truly inspire me, Kings and Queens, you know. So yeah, man, do check out Chuck D and everything that Chuck D is doing. Brother Minister, it's very interesting that you know, I want to touch on this issue of the fact of what happened in 2017 with the banning of Minister Farrakhan's speech, yeah, and we know that this is predicated on the fact that Minister Farrakhan is currently banned from visiting the UK, yes,
Right.
Him alongside Baba Kwame Ture, I believe, received the ban the same year, if I'm not mistaken. Baba Kwame Ture, this was 1986, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah, and Baba Kwame Ture had visited here in 1983, you know, kicked off a lot of noise because so many Pan-African organizations sprung up as a result of not as a result, but partly inspired by his presence here in the UK. And for Minister Farrakhan, it wasn't even the fact that he visited; it was just a tape. it was a tape
exactly
that was going around doing the rounds in the 80s. I mean, I was born in 1985, and it occurs to me as well, you know, that when I say that Patrice Lumumba was 35 when he delivered that speech, or going to be 35. I'm 35 this year. Can you imagine? Yeah, like look what and he was the prime minister of a nation at 35. Yeah, that's when you this is why it's important to meditate on our ancestors sometimes, you know, because it puts things in perspective. Look what they were doing, yeah, at our comparable ages. It's madness. Anyway, so yeah, just
well, this is telling you, Shakara, you need to choose a country in Africa. So,
yes,
you know, because with what you know.
Yes.
You know, and how long you've been knowing it.
Yes.
You know, you're a mighty man, and England has produced some mighty representatives. And
yes.
Kudos to your parents, because from the time I've known you as a very younger brother, you've always you were born and baptized in the liberation struggle.
Yes,
you know, so be that as it may, and you're being developed in the hardest place to actually establish consciousness. So when you touch places like Africa and the Caribbean, brother, you'll have the same impact, if not a greater one, than those who have gone before you. You will definitely have a greater one because you have their example to follow and to learn from.
Yes, sir.
You know, and you know the mistakes that they made, and you can avoid those same mistakes. So don't ever think, and I know the context of what you were saying when we look at the great works that they did during their time. You know, you were doing a fantastic work here in the countries that destroyed our mother continent.
Yes, sir.
So I look forward to hearing you speak on the African continent and in the Caribbean. And God willing, when this COVID-19 passes, you know, your real work, you know, will really take off once you touch Africa and touch the Caribbean and different parts of the world, dear brother. Trust and believe me when I tell you
that. We're working on that, and I'm humbled, my brother, for that commendation there. I do appreciate it. And all praises due to the creator of the universe and our ancestors, you know, for that work and that effort. But importantly, on this plane of existence, as you said, I have to give praises to my parents. Because anything that I am of good to my people is what they've instilled in me in terms of raising me in organization. And so we also, you know, praises to Brother Leader Band.
Look at the name they gave you, brother.
Indeed.
You know, you weren't an accident. You were planned.
Yes, sir.
That's the difference.
Yes, sir. Give thanks. I appreciate it. To the subject, though, of the banning of Minister Farrakhan. Many people may not know the history of that situation. Yeah, I'm minded about that. Yeah, so many people may not know. So just give a brief overview. Yes, since 1986, what has been the resistance to this particular law, and how have the nation gone about addressing it?
Well, the British government, after hearing the voice of the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan and seeing the response from Black people, the minister spoke to over 50,000 Black people in Madison Square Gardens. I believe it was in 1985. And they did everything to stop him from delivering that message. And you know that the government of the United States and the European governments have known, after doing what they did to us in 1555 and, you know, robbing us of our names, language, culture, religion, God, and kidnapping us from Africa, they knew that at some point we would give birth to leadership that would speak strong words to them and strong words to us to rise us from the dust. Not those who would just speak to us by the tens and the hundreds, you know, and even just by the thousands, but those who would speak to our people by the millions. And they knew when they heard the voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that this wasn't an American message. This wasn't an American speaker. They knew that his voice was messianic, a voice that wherever you are in the world, if you hear it, it will start you on the road to consciousness. And if you look back, dear brother, at many of our people here in the United Kingdom, throughout the Caribbean, but many here in the UK, if you interview them and ask them what was the initial spark that started you off on the road of revolution, where our people are concerned, and an intelligent Black consciousness momentum in your life, when did it start? And most of them would tell you they heard a tape from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. They don't call themselves Muslims, but they say when they hear and heard that man, he sparked something in them that started them off on their journey. Mm-hmm. And if we're recognizing his magnetic power and his ability to spark divine life in us, then our persecutors also knew it, brother. Our enemies who have secret services all over the planet, they also recognize this man. There's a surah in the Holy Quran that speaks about the wicked, that they would know the Messiah before he fully came into the knowledge of himself. Mm-hmm. Because they're looking for the deliverer. They're listening out for the deliverer. And if at any time they can snuff out the life of the deliverer, they do. Just like you're mentioning Baba Patrice Lumumba. Mm-hmm. You know, they knew that he was a voice of change in Africa. So they marshaled their forces and they were able to take his life. Not so easy with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Mm-hmm. Not so easy. Mm-hmm. Not so easy, because the divine protection of Almighty Allah has been around the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and they know it. His teacher, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, said to us when he was among us that Allah protects him in delivering his message, and he has 7 mighty angels with him at all times. And these angels, just one of them, is not the enemy's world, and his power is not enough for one of the powerful men that make sure that he is secure. And that same power is with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, dear brother, and the enemy know it. So under Margaret Thatcher, they moved to ban him. It was Douglas Hurd, who was the foreign minister at that time, or the Home Secretary at that time. And the ban was in place until we decided to take them to court in 2001. And by God's grace, dear brother, and remember our lawyer at that time was the mayor today, Sadiq Khan. You know, Sadiq Khan used to come to my home for dinner on a regular basis.
See, you know, I give him a call, Mr. Abdul-Hakeem. Yo, well, go on, Reggie. No, you have to hear, you know, you have some power.
You know, say, I sell out the thing already, brother. But now we're before you know, because the kind of, you know, backside you have to kiss to be the mayor of London, brother, is of a proportion that, you know, I'm not going to waste my time trying to appeal to him. Yes, sir. So at that time, as I said, he flew to Chicago on several occasions, spoke, shared words at our headquarter mosque in Mosque Mariam, him and QC now, Matthew Ryder. And we were blessed to raise tens of thousands of pounds to take them to court. And by the grace of God, they overturned it, brother, under a judge called Turner. Judge Turner overturned the ban, quashed it in 2001, I believe. And then David Blunkett was the Home Secretary at the time. He challenged the ruling, and there was an appeal in the High Court in a closed session. and they decided to reimpose the ban. So the minister couldn't come in that time. But as I said, God Allah has shown his power by letting the world know that the man doesn't have to be present physically. And the minister said to me, brother, that don't worry about the ban, you know, if you're there, he said, I'm there, you know, and others, you know. So our job is to represent him to the best of our ability and to expose the world now to his voice, because his voice is available on YouTube, his voice is available on Final Call Radio. And to be quite honest with you, brother, outside of the United States of America, England, the black community in England listened to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on YouTube or any of the social media platforms more than anywhere else in the world. The minister has a massive listening audience here in the United Kingdom. I just wish more people would admit that they get their wisdom from listening to his tapes, as opposed to, you know, extracting the wisdom and then plagiarizing and taking the credit for themselves. So I say all of that to say, ever since that time, 2001, we haven't gone back to the courts with them, because they're going to have to pay the price of banning Allah, God, divine servant. It's a price they're going to have to pay. Because this was designed to help them to alleviate themselves of the burden of the chastisement that is on its way to them. And they didn't take it when they could have. Because you imagine, a man wants to come to the country to empower you, empower me, empower his people, and set them on a trajectory, on a path, you know, of independence to do for self. And here are the same people who enslaved us, you know, interfering with the process of our rehabilitation. How can you forgive such a people for that, who don't even want us to have teachers from among ourselves, you know? So therefore, if they would ban him, it makes us to know that he is a man we should be listening to. Because if they're afraid of his voice, you know, it would be wise for us to listen to hear what he has to say, what has made them so afraid.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, brother minister. I know you've got another engagement following this, so we're going to be wrapping up soon. I do have a question in the chat, however, from brother IC3 Black Banking for Reparations, and he's asking: is there or was there ever a Nation of Islam bank?
There was. During the time of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we had a bank in Chicago. We had a bank in Chicago. We did.
Yes, sir. And brother IC3, you asked me that question yesterday in relation to the UNIA ACO, and I gave you an answer, and I've actually researched it a little bit more. So next week when I present on the Gavi, the RBG at 100 series, I'll answer your question in more depth than we did yesterday as well. So yeah, brother IC3 is inspired by the issue of banking. So he
fantastic. And we need these giants among us, brother, because it's the time now to do all of these things. The time is right. You know, once we have the right systems and structure in place, I believe black people will put their money in a place that they know will be protected and will represent their best interests.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother Minister Abdul-Hakeem Mohammed, we thank you for joining us today. It's been our pleasure to host you.
Thank you for the invitation.
It's been way too long since the last time, so we won't leave it. We won't leave it so long next time, my brother. And we look forward to hosting and broadcasting the speech of Mr. Farrakhan on Saturday, should the technology allow. And yeah, we do you no favors, my brother. You know what I'm saying? These platforms are yours. It is our duty as a media platform to profile and give voice to the activists in our community, to the freedom fighters in our community. And as one such person representing an organization that is international, we honorably give you this space, my brother. So we look forward to hosting you again. Feel free to let yourself out, bro, and we look forward to speaking to you again. And greetings.
Yes, sir. Can I just share with you another platform that the message can also be received on Saturday is finalcall.com radio.
Yes, sir.
That's finalcall.com radio. And it's available 24/7 if anybody just wants to you know, chime out of, you know, some of these music stations and just listen to the conscious divine voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. They just need to download the app finalcall.com radio, and they can listen to Divine Guidance 24/7. But the message will be broadcast live on Saturday via finalcall.com radio.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Reverend Minister.
Thank you, my brother. Thank
and
you.
enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
And you too, beloved.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Take care. Peace. Peace. Kings and Queens, that has been Brother Minister Abdul-Hakeem Mohammed of the Nation of Islam, the European representative of Minister Louis Farrakhan, coming out of the UK family. You know what I'm saying? As I've said, it's our responsibility, to give a voice to the activists, the organizations, the movements in our community. So I want to send a special shout out to all the brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam in the UK and worldwide, kings and queens. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. In fact, if you go through our videos, you will see our profiling of a Nation of Islam event a couple years ago. It's called Together We Are One or something like that. All right, check that out. It's a beautiful occasion. Beautiful occasion. And we was in the house. We covered that event. So, you know, we have a history of working with the Nation of Islam in this country, kings and queens, that's got Kush TV. Whilst you are here, kings and queens, one last reminder to like the video. Please raise the profile of this video throughout the land of YouTube by liking up the video and all them something there. We have let me show you this live. Let me show you this live here. Because we have you can join the gotkushTV extended family, kings and queens. Yes, indeed. You can join the gotkushTV extended family. Yes, indeed. The gotkushTV extended family are for those who believe in the vision of gotkush and just want to see it grow. Many people have been asking us, you know, how can I support the development of gotkushTV? Well, you can do so by checking out the gotkushTV extended family. I'm going to bring up the page for you right about now on the website. All on there. Stay tuned, kings and queens. Stay tuned right now, yeah? All right, so as you go on the gotkushTV website, you can see we have the tab that says support in our main menu. And as you scroll down, there's information on the gotkushTV extended family. You know what I'm saying? What shows that are in development. We've got a couple documentaries in development as well. So you know where your contributions are going to be going. And if you're inspired, also there's also a section that deals with the perks that you get. You know what I'm saying? We want to give back for your support. So we give back for your support as well. And if you're inspired to join the gotkushTV extended family, just click this gold button. It's beautiful gold button down here, and you'll be transported to the place where you can solidify and make your monthly contribution to the development of independent black media, your #1 black conscious media platform coming out of the UK, kings and queens. Yes, indeed. Do check that out. gotkushtv.com is the website to visit for all these things. Okay, kings and queens, make sure you do that. Make sure you do that. Yes. Right, we've got more quarantine convos coming for you next week, so do stay tuned. Tuesday and Thursday at the hour of 7 p.m. Want to encourage you to check out the Black Group Economics live all dayer. You can either watch all 11 hours, of the show by checking through our videos, kings and queens, or at the moment we are releasing the different snippets of the different panels and the different interviews, so you can check out the playlist tab on gotkushTV YouTube, and you will be able to find the Black Group Economics playlist and go through the videos, so you can watch like Robin Walker, Esther Stanford, a group of sisters who are in business in Saudi Arabia, kings and queens, the United Arab Emirates to be specific, to be exact, sorry. And also we've got brothers speaking on, in black business and international relations, you know what I'm saying? Sister speaking on Forex trading, sister Celine Akigwe. Check that out, kings and queens, because enough knowledge, enough inspiration, and enough information was dropped on last Saturday in line with Black Pound Day, the Black Group Economics live all day. Monday just gone, we released another one of our flagship shows, kings and queens, Decipher Season 1 Episode 1, addressing the issue of black identity in the UK, Africans versus Caribbeans versus British. Thanking everybody for your support for that show. It's been beautiful, it's been fantastic, it's been wonderful, it's been amazing, and we appreciate all the feedback. But the important thing where the cipher is concerned is that you hit up the comment section. There's been a lot of beautiful, powerful comments, kings and queens, but the whole concept of the cipher is that it is a cipher. It is the cipher. So we want to continue the cipher because you are all part of the cipher. You keep the energy, the vibration, the knowledge, the information, and the inspiration flowing. So hit up the comment section in the cipher, kings and queens, and share your thoughts, because our panel will be interacting with you, and we got a Decipher live, lockdown live, coming for you soon. So do stay tuned for all announcements with regards to that. Check out Voyage to Motherland. Yes, indeed, kings and queens. Our very own Nat Nye and Stella B host Voyage to Motherland on gotkushTV. And finally, you can let me just explain that a little piece more. You can Voyage to Motherland. It's about Nat Nye and Stella B traveling the continent. Last times that they were there, they traveled to Nigeria, they traveled to Sierra Leone, and they traveled to Ghana. And so we have profiled their journey, do you know what I'm saying? And they have, we'll be sharing it through the channel of gotkushTV for the foreseeable future. So we look forward to more episodes releasing, and so you can check that out right about now on gotkushTV. Thanking you, my brother Scattered Minds, for the super chat. We give thanks and appreciation for the contributions. You know what I'm saying? Passing through to big respect for the works. Give thanks, brother Scattered. We truly appreciate that contribution right there, kings and queens. Thanking Minister Abdul-Hakeem Mohammed for joining us for the last hour and a half. Thanking all of our viewers, our commenters, our silent listeners, our likers for liking up the video and sharing their you know what I'm saying, the interaction with us this evening. Tune in to us for the coming weeks, kings and queens, for Quarantine Convos and much more. And always remember, you ain't got nothing if you ain't got kush. gotkushtv.com is now opening for you to advertise, calling all businesses, promoters, event organizers, artists, service providers, content creators, and brands of every kind. If you are looking to share your business or services with a growing and diverse audience, gotkushTV is the space for you. Advertising space is available all over the website. You can advertise here. 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 And you can even advertise here. All spaces are going at very reasonable rates. And we even have a design and production service, especially for those who will need an advert designed or produced for you. For inquiries, don't hesitate to contact us. info@gotkushtv.com. Advertising on gotkushtv.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is Decipher, and these are lovely panelists. African versus Caribbean versus British.
I'll say from African, but no, you're not.
Everyone's Africanness comes innately.
I went to Jamaica earlier this year, and I know I'm not Jamaican. They don't look at me as Jamaican.
Yeah.
I don't like people just wearing a dashiki and wearing stuff and just saying, yeah, I'm African now. That's very fake to me.
You protect people, want to claim Africa, like it's some superior, something. This being a semicircle, and you, the audience, completing the circle.
Wordsmith, the #1 platform in the UK where black music meets bars, meets message. Don't watch the industry, we are the mainstream. Wordsmith, exclusively on gotkushTV.
Greetings, welcome from Ghana, Accra. I am Stella B. I am hosting for gotkushTV's Voyage to Motherland.
This is Nat Nye, gotkushTV, Voyage to Motherland.
We live in strange times.
gotkushTV. After a stellar 2019, your #1 Black conscious media platform is getting ready to go into overdrive for 2020. As we promised, last year we launched The Inside. We premiered the pilot for the Black Group Economic Show. We dropped 2 new seasons of Wordsmith, the #1 platform for artists with a message in the music. We've seen you out on the road, the Black Carpet Awards, the Reparations March, the Legacy Center of Excellence, and more. We brought you Dr. Mumbi, the legendary Bob Andy, Queen Diambi, Kemi Seba, Esther Stanford Hossein, Leo Mohammed, Brother Leader Badaka, and more. And now, 2020 is set to see gotkushTV taking it to the next level. First up, look out for the official launch of the gotkushTV website, your official portal for all things GKTV, including new shows, news, views, and reviews, soon to be serving you with advertising opportunities and the launch of the GKTV African market. gotkushtv.com will also be a global hub for all things Black, conscious, and empowering from all over the Black world. Black achievers, Black excellence, education, health, positive Black imagery, entrepreneurs, Black brands, and charity work. All this and more can be found here at gotkushtv.com. Then there's the new shows. Decipher, the dynamic discussion and debate show. Health is Wealth, practical tips for living in wellness. Kush Communiversity, home of Black Warrior Scholarship. And UK Fire Entertainment, bringing you a slew of music videos for your listening and viewing pleasure. Look out for more of The Insight, Wordsmith, and the full 3rd season of the Black Group Economic Show, all coming your way soon. As always, the GKTV film team is available for hire to cover your events and all filming needs. Visit us at gotkushtv.com for hire inquiries and more information. Stand by all Black businesses through our website, social media, and show content. We have monumental advertising, sponsorship, and network opportunities catering especially for you. gotkushTV is about to take off. To join us for the ride, there's 4 things you can do. 1, subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell to make sure you don't miss a release. Join us on all social media and hit up gotkushtv.com to subscribe to our mailing list for exclusive opportunities in the near future. 2, like. Let us know you're feeling our content by hitting that ever so important button of approval. 3, comment. We want to hear your feedback on everything we're putting out, so make sure your presence is felt in the comment section. 4, share. Spread the word by hitting that share button and exposing your circle to the magnificence that is gotkushTV. We look forward to building with you throughout 2020 and servicing you with high quality Black media production. gotkushTV. Beyond discussion, beyond debate, we put the power in Black media.
Are you aged 35 to 55 with